Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Real Estate Hour. My name is Leon Brady,
Welcome, and I'm Brandy Marshall.
and today we got Tommy Jones. Appreciate it for coming on to the show today.
Thank you.
Can you tell the guys exactly what you do? Because I know, like Brandy said, I don't know too much. She said you're the sauce guy, so you bring a lot of flavor to the show today. Guys, I came in, I said, so what do you do? Well, obviously, he said, I don't know how to bitch. Hey, man, you hiring or what?
The universe is full of opportunities, man. The universe is full of opportunities. But like the host said today, my name is Tommy Jones. I'm with SWBC Mortgage. I'm also a transformational coach and a wealth builder. I teach people how to build wealth. Yeah.
Coins.
Coins.
You know how to about coins, okay?
So how long have you, so which profession would you like to elaborate on first?
Well, I started in real estate. I've been in real estate about 20 years. I've been as an investor and a loan officer, and from there, probably about the last 7 years ago, I got really serious about personal development, and not only seeing what it did for me, but no longer wanting to be selfish with what I was learning and wanting to start sharing it with the masses. So about 2 years ago, me and my business partner, we rolled out, started doing real estate masterminds. And it started, Brandy, we started wanting to do it from a strategy standpoint, just teaching other people that look like us about strategy. And one of the things that we found is that as we was given the strategy wasn't taking hold in their lives because they hadn't changed their story. In your story, your name's Brandon, right? Leon, I don't know where I got Brandon from.
I thought you were saying Brandon. I was like this.
So Leon, so what happens is your story is what you tell yourself about yourself, about why you can or can't do whatever it is you're trying to do in life. So what we started seeing is as we were pouring in all of the various strategies on how to be successful in real estate, there was a crack in the vase that we were pouring it in, and that crack was their own personal narrative. So we started saying, you know what? Let's start infusing some of the personal development stuff in addition to the strategy. So from a duality standpoint, we started working with people from their story in life, how they view themselves, the things that they've been through in life that shape their perceptions about life and about various things, and then at the same time giving them strategies on how to be successful in real estate.
So it's almost like life coaching at a pretty high level, but as far as your career and merging that in personal and trying to get some cohesiveness going.
Correct. It's kind of like, it sounds like everybody has the key to success. You just gotta grab that key and put it in the door.
And so what happens, Leon, to your point, we all have a key, but the key comes on a key ring like a janitor, like in a school. So you don't know which key is going to unlock the door to your potential.
Gotcha.
So it takes someone to see the grooves and see the teeth in the keys to say, Leon, that's the key that's going to be the vehicle to help you get to where you want to get in this area of your life.
Gotcha. So where can people come to and get some information like that?
Man, they can follow me. I would love for them to hit me on Facebook at the Tommy D Jones. They can hit me on Facebook with that. Also, they can follow me on my business page because we're constantly having these type of revolutionary type events that come to disrupt your thinking. That's what it's that's why we put these events. We just had an event 2 weeks ago with my coach, Lisa Nichols, flew in. We had 2 Power Pack days. We had over 500 people that came and attended for those 2 days, and we just disrupted their norm. And that we were very intentional on that, coming in to try to up level your game in every area of your life. See, because what I've learned is that if I can help Brandy be a better mom, be a better woman, be a better spouse, be a better sister, then she's ultimately going to be a better real estate agent.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so if I come and I only speak to the real estate agent and don't speak to all the other pieces that make Brandy who she is, then the real estate part won't hold. And that's one thing that we learned when we started putting on these real estate masterminds.
You know, that is so true to your point that in life, whatever you're doing, it trickles over.
That's right.
It's
a bleed over effect.
Yes. Of your life. Yes. So when you look at people and they're saying, oh, this is chaotic, and then you look at the house, the kids, everything's chaotic.
Yes.
Because it's just poor. It's just like you say, like a domino effect.
And so when I saw Brandy today, I see that, not that there was anything wrong, but I see that she's really taken another level in her health. And so, oh my God, you look amazing. Her skin is vibrant. She looks 10 years younger. And she said, yeah, I went on a spiritual and health journey together. And so we didn't get a chance that the elevator opens, but I'm interested to know what was some of her aha moments while she was on that journey. And so, and I'm sure that they bleed over into real estate.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because, you know, when you get more clarity on your purpose and what you're called to do in life, then it makes your dash just that much more meaningful for you and the people that you serve.
For sure.
Well, one thing I will share with you about that entire journey is that I have learned is that know is what you make it. Like, I really was determined to do this. I didn't know how I was going to do it. Everybody around me was eating junk. I mean, and I realized, I was like, this is really difficult, but no is really what you make it. Like, if you tell yourself that you can't do it or you're not able to, that's pretty much what's going to happen. But what I have learned is that I can be determined, I can do it, and no matter what anybody else says, that this is, if I want this to be part of my destiny, I can will that. And that's pretty much what I learned through this whole process, was that, and that it can trickle over anything.
And to piggyback on what she's saying, that mantra that she learned from as she was pursuing another quality level of health bleeds over into every area of your life. It bleeds over into your finances. It bleeds over into your personal and professional relationships. When you say, I am setting the bar here, and this is no longer acceptable, then it no longer becomes acceptable.
Right.
There's a term, it's called RAS, which is Reticular Activating System. And basically what your RAS is, it sits between, Leon, your conscious and your subconscious state. And on average, scientists say we have about between 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. But what your RAS does is it tells your subconscious state what to pull to your conscious level that makes sense for you. For example, if we were having lunch and I was telling you, man, I'm sorry for being late. I just stopped by the dealership. They're getting ready to deliver my new, two-door black coupe, Mercedes S550 with the mag wheels on it, with the chrome tint. So now what happens? Yeah, it's nice. but let me tell you what happens to you. So now you start seeing that car everywhere. I want that one time. You see what I'm saying? But why is that? Because we raise the level of consciousness for that. So that happens in every area of your life. So if you think about it, for those of us that are in real estate, if you flip through our phones, the majority of the people you have on your phone are inspectors, buyers, home warranty companies, all that. You know why? Because that's what's important to you now.
Yeah.
Now, if you got out of real estate and got into something else, then it would be something else, because your RAS tells you what to make important in your life. So when Brandy went on that journey for a better quality of health, so everything that she saw from the vegan restaurants that have always been there that she's never seen, to how to make fruit salad taste like this, and how to take pate and all these things. So then she started seeing them because she made that a priority. She made that her focus. And what you learn in life is where your energy goes is where energy flows. So what you focus on is what expands.
Yeah. I just read a book called The Energy Books. You read it? No. Man, that book is, I don't know if I can put that out, but hey, we're doing it anyway. John Muhammad, he put me on game about that book.
Hey, John.
About that book. It's definitely a must read.
Wow.
It's about the energy, just keying into the energy, and whatever you put out is what you get.
Well,
so it's similar to like the law of attraction.
Yes. Yeah. The universe is nothing more than a mirror of your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Scripture says we have not because we ask not. Right. Be it unto you according to your faith, not Brandy's faith, not Jeff's faith, but your faith.
Right.
So we have what we say. See, the words that leave our life, leave our mouth, never leave our life. They go into our future and they wait. for an appointed time. Like when we booked this appointment a week ago, I think a week ago today, we agreed upon a time and a place, and our words permeated basically time. And they sat at the doorstep of this building. They waited on us to catch up with that which we said.
No, that's crazy. Guys, I promise we about to get into some real estate stuff. But yeah, like I was talking to my mom when I bought my house.
Okay.
I was in the process. I was getting all this stuff done. In my head, I already knew that I was about to buy a house.
Okay.
And same thing with my car and other stuff like that. And so once I bought the house, people were like, "You're not excited?" I'm like, "Not really," because in my mind,
you've already been. You've already been. Yeah. Well, there's countless stories, Leon and Brandy, where they have taken athletes and they have put sensors on them, and they have visualized, like they've taken Olympic athletes and they have visualized doing a slalom or whatever sport they were in, and the twitch count in their muscles and the sporadic breathing was spot on, just as if they were actually doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, because see, the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's fake. And that's why it's so important that you constantly renew your mind only with the things that you want. Don't dwell on the things that you don't, because whatever you dwell on, your mind will figure out a way to how to make that happen, good or bad. Yeah.
Man.
So I do have a question, since we're talking about thought shifting.
Okay.
That's really what
That's what the show is now.
I know.
That's what the show is now.
No, because and essentially, even if it's buying a house, if it's going to school, getting an education, whatever you want to do, these things are still important.
Correct.
For a person who thinks really, really negative, and they had not been exposed to this, maybe they didn't grow up or whatever the situation is, what do you feel like is the most important thing? Because, sometimes when people hear these type of things, they get scared.
Yeah.
Like I've been thinking really, really negative for this long.
Mm-hmm.
He's a busy man, guys, the phone's ringing.
Okay.
For this long, how do I'm scared that everything that I've been putting out here for so long that was negative, how do I reverse that? Because
That's great.
sometimes
Great
fear, even for myself, because the stinking thinking was there for a really long time, and then I started doing the shift myself, but there are still moments where
you call it that.
Yeah.
You just call it that.
Okay.
So when people come to some of my coaching, I do it more than a one-on-one, but I call adding by subtracting. And so what we do, Leon, we go through a exercise where we say your name, and you say, as a result of me thinking this is what is produced in my life. As a result of me thinking that there are no good women in Texas, this is hypothetical. I got 4 baby mamas, and I'm on bad terms with all of them. Okay, so because your actions always follow what you believe. So the first thing we have to do is change your beliefs. So now we say, now that I know better, there are women that are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. There are women that are virtuous. There are women that can help me be and become everything I've been created to be. And as a result of that, I am going to find my queen, because I'm creating a kingdom, or whatever it is. It can be about finances. It can be about health. It can be about whatever you want. So you replace that negative thought and the result of that negative thought with what you now want to see. Because what happens in life is that when you pull something out and don't replace it with something, what you took out will eventually come back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, for example, people that go to, and this is an extreme example, people that go to Alcohol Anonymous, or they go to a drug recovery place. Well, it's easy to say no when you're in a sterile environment. You know what I'm saying? When they got you in a treatment center or whatever, Jeff, for 6 or 8 weeks. So you get a false sense of security, Leon, that you're now cured. But the real test comes when you're put back in those same situations that triggered those behaviors in the first place. Does that make sense? See, it's easy. It's easy when you're in prison to say, well, I ain't chasing no women. You don't have the opportunity to. But let's see what happens when you're put back in that environment. That's when true change shows. When you have the ability to go back and revert back to what you've once done and you don't, that's how you know that a man or woman has changed. So to answer your question is, whatever, Brandy, so if it was, you know what, I've never seen anybody that looked like me, or I've never been around anyone that's ever made over 6 figures. And as a result of that, I don't feel as though prosperity is for me. And because I don't feel that, everything that I do, every opportunity that comes my way will always appear to be an obstacle. I will never see the opportunity in the obstacle because I don't really think that's for me. Then you get around a Jeff or you get around a Leon and you see these people that look like you that are making quantum leaps in the areas of their life, in the areas of finances. And then what happens is success is also very contagious. Then you're like, you know what? Jeff chooses food just like I do. Or he puts his pants on one leg at a time just like I do. So it may be possible for me. So you begin to model that which you see, and we do that whether it's good or bad stuff, right? Yeah. We model. So, and because success leaves clues, but so does failure.
Yeah.
Both of them leave clues.
Yeah. Hey.
Ooh. Guess what, guys? We're having a candid conversation here with Tommy Jones, and it has been excellent so far.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's
Look, we speak.
Okay. Man, a lot of people on the show.
Thank you.
A lot of people.
But none of us speechless. Thank
you,
man.
We gotta talk about this team.
Yeah.
Because
Takara says real talk. She said, yeah, okay. So so that part is, and you mentioned something about coaching. Mm-hmm. Is this a service that you offer to people? Because a lot of people will say, and even for myself, like I could say, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we grow up and our parents do the best they can with what they have, but we just don't know.
And to your point, not to cut you off, it is staggering, Leon, the blind spots that we have in our lives and we don't know that they exist. And we don't know what we don't know, but unfortunately, we're still held to that. How many people, by a show of hands, have been speeding and didn't know they were speeding, but you still got the ticket? See, not knowing the law doesn't absolve you of the law.
Right.
Like, for example, see, if we had a toddler here, and the baby climbed up on this pedestal right here,
right,
we would all leap for the baby. That baby is ignorant to the law of gravity, but we're not.
Right.
But even though that baby is ignorant to the law of gravity, does not mean that he or she is not going to fall and experience the law of gravity, right? So in life, the reason that I tell people all the time that you need coaches, Jeff, in your life is that they compress time frames. They bridge the gap between your now and your not yet, and they start them together. And the reason coaching is so important is that a good coach will always speak to what you are becoming. See, most people in our life deal with us from what we were. They don't even deal with us from what we are. They deal with us, Leon, from what we used to be. Mm. But see, you need somebody in your life that deals with you for the 2040 Leon, not the 2019. And you need somebody in your life that speaks to what you're becoming. And what happens is they grab you by the nape of your proverbial neck and they drag you into your future. Because they speak to the future you, not the past you, and not even the present you. That's why coaching is so important.
So my question is, are these services open to the public, or do you just focus really in helping people who are in real estate realize their potential?
That's a great question. It initially started with a real estate slant, but like I said, once we saw how people were hurting and how they would come, and because what I would always do, Leon, on average we have about 250 people that come, and I personally would call every person afterward within the 48 hours and just thank them, number one, for coming, because that's 2 hours of your time you can never get back. But for whatever reason, you invested it in me and with us. And so I called a person to thank you for that. And then I would ask them, is there anything I can expound on that you learned? And Brandy will tell you, I would always bring in top producers that would always be very candid, that would just open their playbook and show you in detail what they do and how they do it. And to a person, they would always explain away why that person was successful. And so as I saw that over and over, Jeff, it just kind of dawned on me that it's not the market, it's me. It's how you view yourself. Because as many millionaires, and Jeff can tell you, the empirical data is out there, when the market crashed, there were just as many people that made millions as did when the market's quote unquote good. Yeah. It's just your mindset, right?
Right.
So to answer Brandy's question, so yes, we're rolling out some stuff right now. I got a couple things that I'm writing right now. One piece is called No More Time to Waste.
When is the next?
Man, we just finished April 5th and 6th was amazing, bro. We just finished, so we're gonna roll something out again. We did. I'm sorry, it's not called No More Time to Waste. It's called Nothing Else to Waste. I think it's. I got it written down. So, but anyway, the premise is we don't have
time.
Okay, sorry.
When was the next one again?
We're still we're working on the date. I'm writing a curriculum right now. Because the premise is, and I'll share it with your audience, the premise is we don't have any more time, we don't have any more talent, we don't have any more resources to waste. True. Because see, all of us have either played sports or we watch sports. So, and I'll give an example. If we all were going to the Cowboy game, and me and Brandon were riding together, and you guys were already up in the suite, and we got there late, and we walk in, okay, the game's already going on. What's typically, Jeff, the first question that you ask when you walk in and the game's already on?
What's the score?
What's the score? And then what's the second question? And how much time is left? Why do we ask those two questions, Liam?
Because they're the most important.
Why?
They're critical.
Why?
It's going to determine who wins and who loses.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is based on the score and how much time is left is the likelihood for your team to either maintain their edge or the ability for them to come back, right? Yeah. Well, see, in life, we ask the same two questions, but we can only see one of them. You can't see the time.
That's true.
Because that's your invisible opponent. All we know is the score. We all know that we're behind on our goals and dreams, or we are where we want to be, but we don't know the other component, the time. I'm going to let that one sink in. Right?
Yeah, let's marinate.
Right, guys? So in life, what happens, Brandy, is that we see what's before us. We see that which we must conquer, right? But the missing element is we don't see the time. We know it's ticking. How many times we've been watching a game, Leon, and the quarterback is stepping up in the pocket. He's like, "What? Get rid of that ball." Why are you saying that? Because you see that defensive end coming, right? Yeah. He needs to move up in that pocket. Why is he still throw it away, right, Jeff? Or run out of bounds, right? Because you feel what? The time. Time is slipping away, right? Or you see the basketball game and they're at the top of the key, there's 10 seconds later, you're like, why are you waiting? Go ahead and start the play. Because what are you looking at? You're looking at the point guard, you're looking at the clock. You're looking at the point guard, you're looking at the clock. Well, in life, we don't get to look at the clock. We look at all the opposition that we're against.
Right.
But we don't know how much time we got left. Right? You can feel the pressure. You feel your kids getting older. You feel that, man, I need to get this thing going because baby girl got to go to school. And I don't want her to ever know what it feels like to fill out a freaking student loan application because I don't want her strapped with that. Right? So you feel that time ticking, but you don't know how much time you got left. See, a lot of times we put our goals and dreams on the shelf, or we say they're dead because they haven't materialized yet. Because we have our own internal clock. And we say if it doesn't happen by 30 or 35 or 40 or 45, then it ain't going to happen.
Right.
Well, one of the things that, the reason that may not be happening, because you ain't got the right coach that's got you in the right system, calling the right plays, that covers you, that accentuates your strengths and covers your weaknesses.
They taught us that in the military.
Yeah. Yeah. So how can it be, because again, we all love sport, you take one player, got the same helmet, same pads, put him in a different system, Jeff, and he flourishes. Because that system caters to his strengths and covers his weaknesses. So who in your life puts you in a place to win? Because they put you in a situation that cover your strengths. I mean, they accentuate your strengths and cover your weaknesses. That's what a coach does.
I'm about to go to the ground. Right in that commercial, baby. On Instagram, I got house renovation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The trucking on the way. Yeah. Man, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
I'm hungry again. You hungry? Can I just ate a sandwich?
Yeah. Tommy, you are so inspiring.
Thank you.
Really?
I
Really?
randomly met him at an event, just going out and meeting people, and ever since the day I met you, you've always spoken life. You've always been so encouraging and so right on point.
Thank you.
Like everything you always say, we came here to talk really about the real estate side of things, but the reality is that pretty much anybody could relate to what you just said, and that whether they admit it or not, even in those quiet places or quiet moments, people have these thoughts. People have dreams. People have things that they want to accomplish that they feel like are out of reach. And they don't know, they want to do something, but they don't know kind of what to do.
Let me free the people that are watching and say this. Here's an indication from your creator that whatever it is that you're wanting to do is possible for your life. The mere fact that you want to do it is an indication. Because what happens, Leon, is that life shows up, and most of us tend to sit down on our dreams when life shows up. And we explain away, Jeff, and we rationalize away why we can't do that, what's in our heart to do. But regardless of how loud life gets, there's still that small little thing that keeps saying, man, open the truck and come. Man, go, just drive this neighborhood, go look at those houses. Go knock on those doors, and I know those houses are abandoned, but that's the second or third generation, and you can get that, and you can revitalize, and there's regentrification. Well, why is it that you want to do that? Because that's an indication that's something you're supposed to be doing. I have no desire to, my mom's a teacher, she's been teaching, I'm 48 years old, mom's been teaching about 40 of those 48 years. And she teaches first grade, and sometimes I go down, Brandy, and I have lunch with her. She's got like 25 little energetic little, I don't know what to call them. And they are just on 10. And I'd be like, there ain't no way. Because I ain't called to do that. But for me, I can grind 10, 12 hours. I can get on stage. I can speak for 2 hours. I can get off stage. I can go do a loan application. I can do a coaching call on the way to my next call. And I am not tired. You know why? Because I'm slap dab in the middle of what I've been created to do, which is to encourage and edify people to see the highest and best version of themselves. And what I encourage everybody that's watching is to figure out what you're supposed to be doing and get there as fast as you can. Because see, here's the deal. There's two numbers that bookend our life. That's our start date and our end date. Yeah. We all know our start date because that's our birthday. Yeah. We don't know our death date. The only thing we can do, Leon, is make that dash dance. Mm-hmm. That's all we got is that dash. Let's make it dance. There's something I don't do it as much anymore now because I got called out several times when I used to do it. When I used to go out and speak, I would always ask this question. I would ask, tell me the name of your mother's father's father. There'd be 500,000-600,000 people in the room, mostly African American. I said, just show me your hand if you can do that. Most of them couldn't raise their hand. And I said, the next thing I'm going to say is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But the reason you don't know their name, they didn't give you a reason to know their name. That's hard. That's hard. Jeff, I've had people come to me in the green room and be like, how can you say that? That is so disrespectful. I said, I'm sorry. So what is your great-grandfather's name? I don't know. But that's wrong that you would say that. So you're offended by somebody you don't even know.
Yeah.
See, so I said that to say, don't let, Leon, your tombstone be the only proof that you passed this way.
That you ever existed.
Don't do that. You better than that. Don't let your tombstone be the only proof that you passed this way.
That's deep. You can say that. That's just right.
So when you begin to look at life like that, when you begin to look at that we're all charged, that we're all called to leave our footprint, to leave our thumbprint, to write our signature on this universe. That when we get up out of here, you should have played so big that everybody tied to you remembers you. See, because we're all called to plant trees for shade that we'll never sit in. But we got to be okay with that. Because there's those coming behind us. See, Jeff, I've followed you on Facebook, and I've seen your beautiful kids. You got to be okay with knowing that 2 to 3 generations from now, the things you're doing there are going to impact them in either one or two ways, either good or bad. See, it was Helen Keller that said, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight and no vision. So if I could challenge the people that are listening to us today, and even the people in this room, get in position and remove the emotional cataracts from your eyes and see yourself in the image of what you've been created. If you ever get to play, I would love for you guys, if you ever hear me speak, I'll always open and end with saying that we're fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of something great, Leon. Okay? We're fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of something great. Okay? That's default. So you can't do nothing about that. You were made in the image of something great. However, the power lies in your choice to activate your greatness. See, that's where he gave you the choice. Whether you choose to activate your greatness. So when you make a conscious choice to say that I'm going to be everything that he created me to be, just like you said, the illustration you gave about the house. When you got the house, everybody was like, oh my God, Leon, you're just like, no big deal. You said, because I already knew it was mine. So when you walk in the fullness of what you were created to be, there is no ooh and ah. There's reverence, but there's no necessarily ooh and ah because you already knew that. For example, if you knew before you came here, you made a $10,000 deposit in the bank, and we were going to lunch, and you said, T, you know what, I got it. And you swipe your credit card, and the waiter came back and said it went through. You wouldn't be like, are you kidding me? It didn't bounce? But why wouldn't you be that way? Because you already knew the deposit you made.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you'd be like, thank you. Because you could be confident in what you had already deposited.
This emotional cataract is like resonating with me. Can you just talk a little bit more about that? Because I just would like to know.
Okay. Because thank you, Randy. So typically what happens is when something traumatic happens in our lives, we get stuck. Time continues to move, but we're stuck. So if, hypothetical, if Brandy was in a relationship and it was the love of her life and she was all in, and he just came home one day and said, dude, I'm out, deuces, I'm done. And if that was March 8th, 2012, and Brandy was 28 years old, the continuum of time continues to move forward. We're now 2019. Jeff is speaking to her, Brandy, 2019. Brandy ain't healed. It is still hemorrhaging from March 12th, 2012. So she's stuck. So everything that she sees through that filter of hurt and setbacks and disappointment. So when Jeff is like, come on, Brandy, look, I mean, come on, man, I need you to be the face of this initiative. You know, we're doing some things. I need you to be the face of it, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't have the confidence. Either she says that or she displays that. He's like, dude, are you killing me? Are you getting me? You're amazing. You're great. You're this, you're that. She doesn't see that because of the cataracts. Because of the eyes, she's still looking through it through the hurt eyes. So that's what I mean. So you have to heal from the hurt.
Right.
And it spills over to your relationship. It spills over to how you deal with your sons. It spills over to how you deal with your clients. It spills over that when I bring in a top agent that looks like you, and she's up there talking, you're like, that's easy for you to say. You never had a bastard walk out on you 3 kids. You see what I'm saying? So you explain away that success. Right. You act like, well, that's because you went to college and I didn't. Or that's because you went to a more pristine scholar. See, we always try to let ourselves off the hook of why they can win and I can't. Or that's easy for you to say because you ain't got no kid. Or you winning because you do got kids. Or you short, you tall, you fat, you skinny. Or people that do business with you because you fat. Or people do business with you because you skinny. Or people do business with you because you young. Or people do business with you because you've been in business 20 years, Tom. You old. That's why Scripture says, be it unto you according to your faith. Scripture says that the tongue of the pen is like a ready writer. Whatever you say, the universe comes into agreement with it. That's why affirmations are so important. Because, see, you only get that which you're willing to fight for. Most of us tend to fight for our limitations. That's why we got them. So Jeff is pushing Brandy. I told Jeff I can't do that. The universe says, you're right. Jeff, no. Ain't nobody in North Dallas gonna listen to no sister with no natural hair. No. The universe says, you're right.
Hey. I better stop playing this.
Your words are the picture frame for your life. They shape your life. That's why even if you ever call me and I'm having a character building day, you'd be like, T, what's up? Whew. That's about the most you'll get. Because I understand that my words are powerful.
When is it?
What?
Character building day.
Oh, I have one.
I need it.
But no. What I'm saying
like
is
a challenge.
like a challenging day, like a bad day for me.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not fixing to speak that. I'm not going to speak
No.
that.
You talking about?
You see what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah.
T, what's going on? Boy, that's about the most you'll get.
You already know.
Like, look, I done had like 12 pre-quals come in. The highest credit score was 435 all day. And that's when you add all three scores together. But you see what I'm saying? But I'm never going to let those words permeate the universe. Because I understand the power of my words. Right. That's why it's so important that even that's my fault. Wow. That even, see, that's why you even got to watch what you say over your babies. Because to Brandy's point, and I know I'm going a long way around talking about emotional and spiritual cataracts, right now, whatever season you're in your life, the harvest that you're receiving is because of the words that you planted in the previous season. Now, back to the question you asked earlier, Brandon, you said, what do you do? You go back and you just cancel that. You just cancel everything knowingly and unknowingly that you said that was contradictory to your future and your purpose.
So do you write that in a diary? I'm trying to help you out.
No. You can just say it. You can say it or write it, whatever you want to do. And then what you have to do from a neuroplasticity standpoint, and we'll talk about that if I ever come back. Neuroplasticity, what it talks about is that how there's scientific proof that how the shape of your brain changes when you learn new information. So that your neurons can be retrained to rewire and fire a different way. You can retrain yourself, Leon. You can retrain yourself. Brandy's evidence of that with her diet. See, here's what happens when you say yes. See, when you say yes to your greatness, Leon, it comes with strings attached. But the strings are not to bind you. They are to pull other people out. See, you take, here's something just this simple. You take the architect that had an inkling that he or she wanted to be an architect. They had to say yes to their gift. It was an internal gift to go to school, to get the certifications, and guess what? As a result of them taking action in the direction of their dreams, we're here today. Yeah. We're all together because somebody said yes. Just that simple, bro. It ain't got to be all complex.
For real. Yeah, bro.
Does that make sense?
A whole bunch of sense, man.
So, who's standing in the shadow? My question for all of us, the ones watching, the ones that are here live, who's standing in the shadows waiting for us to say yes? Whose breakthrough is tied to our yes?
Right.
You know, that's a good point that you make, because a lot of times we're so self-indulgent that we're worried about self that we're not even thinking about who's to come or who we're supposed to be helping, and that our purpose is really tied to other people.
Yes.
That's why God puts us here.
To serve humanity.
Right. You know, and people always, want to kind of, I don't know, they want to contain it and say it has to look a certain way, but the reality is that it doesn't. But because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, we can't attain or reach what we need to.
And let me piggyback on that. That's why I always say, so let me tell you this, Leon. When I started doing these masterminds, I got so much backlash from people saying, why are you doing that? You're training your competition. You're doing this. I said, let me tell you something. There's 7.5 million people in the Metroplex. If I got a tithe of that, I couldn't do business by myself. I'm not training my competition. I'm creating colleagues. I need him to be successful in this business. That helps me. I need that brother over there that there's a mortgage company. I need him to win. That helps me. That helps all of us. That raises the visibility of us in a very invisible industry. That shows others what's possible for their lives. See, you're a young brother. I didn't have the privilege of meeting you and mentoring you, but he did. I needed him to be successful to get you out the streets. I don't know your narrative. I need you to be successful. So when you in the barbershop or you on the phone, you ain't sagging, you're a businessman, somebody else you can pull out. It's about humanity. Your kids, you may be raising my son-in-law. I don't know. I need him to come from a good, stable home. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, the global impact, Brandy,
right,
that we are to have,
right,
and that your gift is not just confined to a census tract or a zip code or an area code, that's bigger than that. That's why, Leon, the only proof that we came this way cannot just be a freaking tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
With a name, a start date, and an end date, and a dash.
Uh-oh. Oh, we good. Man, yeah, I'm okay. Man,
Okay.
yeah.
This is why I love Tommy Jones. We will actually tag his business in the comment section, and of course we'll share it to his page so that you will be able to get in contact with him, ask him any questions that you like, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
With you, if you want to talk to us and help you to get in contact with him, we will do that. There's so many, we're going to have him back because, again, there's so many other things, you know, he works with even like Habitat for Humanity and things like that. And so we would love to have you back so we can
I would love to come back. You know what? Let me applaud you guys on taking this platform and creating an outlet to just give people a glimpse of the various things that's possible for their lives. Because that's really what this is.
Right.
And it's so funny when the computer just said battery running low, plug in. One of the things that we don't do enough of is plugging into a source that's bigger than us.
Man, this dude be coming with it, bro.
I mean, we have to plug into something because that's what makes it sustainable. Because, see, we all have smartphones, but if you notice, when you get down to the critical, about 10% or less, what starts happening? Your app starts shutting down.
Yeah.
Why do our apps start shutting down? To preserve power.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of us in our lives, our apps represent our possibility. They represent our giftings and talents.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are just going through to get through, and we don't plug into something bigger than us. So we're reduced down to only being able to make and take calls. And all these other things have been placed in us. But because we're not plugged into something that replenishes us, we're only reduced down to being able to make and take calls.
Yes.
Thank you. So for those of you that are watching, let me say this to you. Here's my challenge to you. Tell your family and friends about this amazing company, about this amazing site, and how they are here to help up-level your life in every area of your life. That's your charge. That's your give back. Find somebody that could be encouraged by what they've heard today or in previous messages and spread the word.
So make sure to like, share, and follow this video, okay? So thank you.
You look clap for that.
Thank you guys for joining the Real Estate Hour, and we will see you next week, so stay tuned.
And thank you, Tommy Jones.
Yes, sir.
Can't believe what I was saying. God,
Thank you.
I'm gonna go grind so hard, y'all don't even know. Y'all gonna see that camera all over. Might see me in Rockwell. And so I'm gonna go out there. I don't know what it look like. I might be out there. But yeah, tune in next week, Tuesday. We still getting in. And he coming back.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
I'm having my Chipotle burrito sandwich. I'm making a lunch. You doing, it's typically an hour.
Okay.
We doing 3. You see, with a roll, be comfortable, you know what I'm saying? But tune in, guys, and thank y'all for tuning in.
Bye.
Peace.